Good morning and welcome. It is 8:30. It is the 6th day of September 2021. It is Labor Day 2021. And I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, with a time to look at what's going on in the gaming and geek news of the world. Yay, news. What's going on in our world? Of course, the number one story is that Avatar, the Legends role-playing game, has made $10 million plus in Kickstarter. Its Kickstarter ended over the weekend, and it's currently hanging around the 10 million point something range, which is the single most amount of money ever made for a Kickstarter for role-playing, possibly with the exception, maybe the single largest amount of money for any Kickstarter. It's at least close to the money that the Critical Role animated Kickstarter made. Not maybe more? I don't know. I think that one made 9 something and this one's made 10 something. I'll have to check. But yeah, it's definitely, I don't know what the record is for largest Kickstarter of all time, but $10 million for a role-playing game is pretty outrageous. Obviously, the name Avatar helped sell it. So we will see if it lives up to the hype. I mean, how is that game going to do once it gets to the market? Is it really going to be the kind of game that's worth a $10 million? I mean, that's a lot of hype to live up to. In other news, of course, we have heard nonstop about the Essence D20 role-playing game coming from Hasbro and Renegade Press, Renegade Publishing Games, of course, the people who brought us Kids on Bikes. We do have some more details, not a lot of details, but some more details on the Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Power Rangers role-playing games. They will be using, of course, the Essence D20 system, which is the D20 plus 1 additional dice ranging from D2 to D20. Depending on skill level, there will be rules for characters, weapons, equipments, vehicles, and Zords for the Power Rangers games. I have been told that TJ Storm helped playtest the Power Rangers game. My friend TJ Storm, thanks for telling me, TJ. I would have loved to have been a part of that. I'm not bitter. These games are going to run around $55 to $75 each. And then, of course, the Power Rangers set will have a box set with different colored hardcover rule books running for about $300. The team behind the Lancer RPG announced that they are suspending fulfillment of the line's Kickstarter-funded products due to, of course, COVID. They cannot meet the expectations of the Kickstarter. The main Kickstarter stuff will be set out, but some of the supplemental stuff, like field guides and stuff like that, are going to be temporarily suspended. Obviously, they are contractually obligated to do something, but because of real life, they have to delay what it is they're going to do to make it up to their Kickstart supporters, because they can't fulfill the entire projected thingies. Warp Films and John Harper announced the development of a television series based on Blades in the Dark. Little information is available about the series yet. In fact, the series announcement came in the middle of a larger announcement about what was going on with Warp Films. We don't know which channel this Blades in the Dark TV thingy is going to be on. Is it going to be CW? Is it going to be HBO? Is it going to be Netflix? Is it going to be Peacock? Is it going to be TiVo, Weibo, Gobo, Probo? I don't know. Is there any market for a Blades in the Dark show? We know Carnival Row had a lot of expectations, which it failed to meet. We hold the Nevers had a lot of expectations, which it seems to have failed to meet. So who knows if there's a market for Blades in the Dark or not. Several updates are coming from Pathfinder 2 2nd Edition, including a Secrets of Magic source book, the second entry into the Strength of Thousands adventure path. We also have some previews for new stuff for Starfinder, and we have some new overlays useful themed to both Pathfinder and Starfinder available for Twitch streamers. Speaking of Paizo, a fundraiser has been organized for Paizo directors of game development Addam Diggle following a recent medical incident from GoFundMe page. So Addam seems to have suffered a seizure or something like that. And he is now in the hospital. And Paizo is sponsoring a GoFundMe to cover all his medical expenses. So if you want to shout out to Paizo and Addam, check out the GoFundMe page. Wizards of the Coast has filed a trademark for Netrunner, raising questions about the revival of the collectible card game. The original Netrunner card game was the third of the Deckmaster collectible card games designed by Richard Garfield and released by Wizards of the Coast in the 1990s, following Vampire: The Eternal Struggle, and, of course, that little game that you probably never heard of, Magic the Gathering. Netrunner was based upon Cyberpunk 2020 role-playing game and featured asymmetrical gameplay. This trademark was filed on August 20th and covers the following categories that you don't care about, but basically, does this mean that Wizards of the Coast is planning on bringing back Netrunner, and what type of handshake do they have with Archesolian and the Cyberpunk 2020 people? And does this mean Garfield is going to have some relationship with Wizards of the Coast? If he's smart, probably not. Paradox Interactive CEO Eba Leningrad, EBBA-LIUNGERUD, Eba Leningrad has resigned from the company effective immediately due to differing views on the company's strategy going forward. Paradox, of course, is releasing some of World of the Darkness stuff and Oblivion video games and some other things. They also are behind the recent video game adaptations of Shadowrun and Battletech. So apparently the CEO doesn't like some of the choices that Paradox Interactive is making. I don't know what that means. In other news, Archesolian has joined a long list of game companies pulling out of Gen Con due to concerns over the Delta variant, even though physical Gen Con is vehemently supporting the mask thing. So a lot of companies are just saying, even though, virus, infections, mask, vaccine, we don't want to risk it. But of course, Gen Con already had plans in place with the digital Gen Con and the Gen Con pop-ups. So how much will people not going to the actual physical Gen Con affect Gen Con? It will affect the hotel that was going to sponsor Gen Con, though, because every person that doesn't go, every company that doesn't go, every merchant that doesn't go is less money for that hotel. But Gen Con as a whole seems to have covered their bases with the digital Gen Con stuff, the Twitch Gen Con stuff, and the pop-ups. We mentioned the pop-ups before, but basically, if you have a friendly local game store that sells games and anime here in Ventura, you can get a kit from Gen Con and sponsor Gen Con related events at your local game store. Okay, we have some interesting information and news regarding intellectual property in role-playing games. So, attorney Boyd Stephenson put together a short pay-what-you-want book about intellectual property in the role-playing game market, available through DriveThru. This is a short 8-page document. Acts as a great primer to ideas about copyright, trademark, trade dress, patents, public domain, and how all of those interact with publishing a tabletop role-playing game in the world of Creative Commons, the OGL, and open source. So if you are thinking about publishing a role-playing game and want to know what is in action to take care of you and support you and protect your product, is pay what you want. So give Boyd $1. Download this. It's really important if you're planning on doing something in the role-playing market, that you understand what is in place to protect you and stuff like that. The War of the Burning Sky adventure path from EN Publishing has coming to an end. This has been in a 12-part adventure path that these guys put together for 5e, taking people from first level all the way up to 19th level. And now it's finally coming to an end. It's called The Beating of the Aquiline Heart. It's the 12th and final adventure of the War of the Burning Sky adventure path. So if you've been a part of this and want to come to the end, check it out. Ask your friendly local game store, the CES Games and Anime here in Ventura, to look into it for you. And that's about it for role-playing news. Of course, other than the big news regarding Essence D20, the Avatar breaking the 10 million mark, and what happened to professional wrestling last night, which is a whole separate vlog that we could talk about or not. That's about it. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs, and we will do something, 1,000 sub worth. Till next time, I'm your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Happy Labor Day. Stay safe and get off my land.